Okay, welcome back to 1d8+1. There's an 8-sided die here. There's a 5, there's a 3, there's a 2, an 8, a 6, a 5, 3, a 1, a 7, a 6 in that type of sense, a 3, a 2. Now there is also something I was trying to do with caster and archmage and realizing how long it takes to get into it, which it doesn't. So that's in needing 7th level spells, so 13. I don't get 7th level spells until, let's see what we're looking at here. I don't get 7th level spells until the caster goes with that 13th level. Now when I'm 4th level in that type of sense, that is a dash mark in that type of thing. Now from that dash and spells, let's see here. Wizard casts arcane spells. To learn or prepare a cast a spell, wizard must have an intelligence score equal to at least 10 plus a spell level, intelligence 10 for 0 level spells, intelligence 11 for first level spells, and so forth. Difficulty class, like other spell classes, based in allotment, billing modifiers, and like other spell classes, wizard casts only a certain number of spells each spell level per day, and that's it. Unlike Bard or Sorcerer, Wizard may know any number of spells. She must choose and prepare spells. I don't see anything about the dash in there, but I think with the dash, it doesn't take that. I can find that faster with, I think, a Paladin or Wizard or something in that nature. Now with the Ranger, in that type of sense, let's see, spells, spell casting. Let's see. When a table 313 indicates the ranger gets 0 spells per day of a given spell, for instance, first level spells for a 4th level ranger gains only the bonus spells. He would be entitled to the base or wisdom score for that spell. The ranger does not have any access to any domain spells or granted powers as cleric does. That's on page 48. And then on that type of sense, it's on page 48. And we're going up to improved combat style, and then above that, through 3rd level, a ranger has no caster level. At 4th level and higher has caster level is 1/2 is ranger level in that respect. Now in the bard type thing, the bard and the spells, because the somatic components required for bard spells are relatively simple. A bard can cast level spells while wearing light armor without incurring the normal arcane spell failure chance. Now that chance is arcane spell failure chance, and clerics cast divine, so it's divine spell failure chance, or divine holy magic spell failure chance at the same time. That is correct. That's on page 28 there. And then from there, we've got the same thing for clerics in that type of sense. And there's your 1+1 type thing of first level spells. And then, like other spellcasters, a cleric can cast a certain number of spells of each spell level per day. His base daily allotment is given on table 3-6. In addition, receives bonus spells per day if he has a high wisdom score. And a cleric also gets 1 domain spell for each spell level he can cast starting at 1st level. Now, there's also the Paladin Mount sidebar type thing there, and that's on page 45. On here is the Druid Animal Companion sidebar chart type thing, and that's on page 36. On page 36, also the 3 and 1, but keep in mind on page 35, there's no bonus spell listed with that, so you have to look up your own wisdom on page 8 in your own accords type thing, which takes a lot of memory in that type of sense. And it's very difficult in that nature of. And so I wouldn't give an ability on that in page 8 in that sense. And from that type of thing, that is the human racial +4 type thing on the end of their total, I think, and not in the calculations in the parentheses. 4 extra skill points at 1st level, at 1 extra skill point at each, and then 1 extra feat. So that doesn't exist. And on page 22 or so near the backpack, there are the feats in that type of sense. There's the feats and character and level dependent benefits, and that's on page 22 there. But on page 23 there's hit die, and there's a measurement type thing here. Get that in that sense, and we'll get that on the internet type thing for that. It's complexity. In fact, I'll stop with that one and I'll make a new one. Okay, or actually I'll just finish that. There's the inch type thing there. There's an inch, and there's a ruler. There is the inch compared to it, and they're in the backpack type thing. Now there's an inch here. Character rolls one hit die each time he or she gains a new level, then applies any constitution modifier to the roll and adds the result to his or her hit points total. Thus a character has the same number of hit dice as levels. For his or her first hit dice, a level character gets the maximum hit points rather than rolling, although constitution modifier, positive and negative still apply. And that's on page 23. Now from that type of sense there, we're going to go to more sensibility, sexuality, or some affinity for Republican or Democrat or something in that type of nature. And we're going to go through protection from evil in that type of sense. I always try to tell people that maybe they know the wrong people. There's protection from evil. There's the block that matters to all people in that sense. Now the spell, and that block was once again not that much space on that type of thing there. So here we've got not inch of space. There's the level, there's the target. Now the spell wards a creature from attacks by evil, and then there, the barrier moves with the subject and has three major effects. First, the subject first indent. First, the subject gains +2 deflection bonus to AC and +2 resistance bonus. Indent. Second, barrier blocks any attempt to possess the warded creature. More. Indent. Third, the spell prevents bodily contact by summoned creatures. Now, that was a lot to look up in that type of sense, and the same things with Magic Circle against evil in that sense, which was only one spell. And there's the Rage and things of that nature. There's Rage on the PHB in 268, and can go get Scorching Ray and that type of thing, which doesn't exist either. And that Scorching Ray with no saving throw. And one more here. I'm sure there's pretty much infinite more in that type of sense, because people really don't look things up, and there's no reason to, because they're not wrong. They've never been wrong, and there is no such thing as wrong. Let's see here, other than my existence. So there's Lightning Bolt. There's 120-foot line and instantaneous reflex half. Now I'm going to go to Call Lightning, which is the same thing in that type of sense. There's Call Lightning. There's Cure Light Wounds. Creature Touch, Will Harmless, +1 per cast level, max +5. And that never goes up. And there's Call Lightning in that sense. There's Call Lightning. There's Instantaneous. There's all the way down, 3d10 points of electricity damage instead of 3d6. And there's 10 bolts right there. And now Polymorph and that type of thing. More spells that don't exist and have never operated in that type of sense. There's Polymorph, and there are some pretty cool spells of use in that type of thing. And once again, no reason to be Republican, Democrat, or Liberal after looking all that up. 1 minute per level. Spell functions like Alter Self. In that sense, there that is. And then you have to go look at Alter Self and that type of thing there. And there's spell levels, there's Sorcerer Wizard spell levels, which there aren't, which is the same as Duskblade spell levels, hence why they have the same name up at the top of them, along with their schools. And there's the Alter Self type thing, and you acquire the physical qualities of the new form, which it doesn't on those spell type things, because a lot of people report that they do. Now on the PHB, I'd have to go get that. There's Alter Self, and then you acquire the physical qualities of the new form while retaining your own mind. And you acquire, which means you do not gain the physical qualities of the new creature. You acquire them, which means you don't get them. And that's on page 197. Okay. Now we've got that. There's the Dragon Shaman in page 11. There is its class, and it gets auras but no spells. So it also casts 9th level spells, is the ideology of it, which it doesn't. Now there's the Duskblade, and there's the Knight with its incorrect hit die of D12. That's in the PHP 2. And let's go find the Duskblade. Now there's the Duskblade type thing with its casting up to 5th level spells, and they can cast up to 6 5th level spells per day in their time, which means those are 7th and 9th level spells in equivalency in that sense. And now we need to go here. That's the play of the Duskblade, and Duskblades in the world, and then Duskblades in the game, and then Duskblade spell list. In that Duskblade spell list, a Big Beast Clench Fist, Chain Lightning, Disintegrate, those are all 9th level spells. So now you go to Sorcerer Wizard 9, and there's Soulbind, Energy Drain, Astral Projection, Shades, Meteor Swarm. There's the Big Beast, Power Word Kill, Dominate Monster, Foresight, Teleportation Circle, Summon Monster 9, Gate, Prismatic Spear, Freedom, Imprisonment, Warning Canis Disjunction. Then the Summon 9 type thing, along with the Summon Nature Ally, which doesn't exist in that sense. There is Summon Monster 1, and then there's 9th level Summon, Coral, Leonal Gardenal, Celestial Rock, or the Giant Bird in that sense, a Green Slat. I think rocks were depicted as evil, but they're more neutral probably in that sense. This one's chaotic good. So that is, but that might not be the case. But they're big birds, and they're usually thought of being evil with 50-foot wingspan. And I guess they are, but I don't think in this case they are some type of redeemer converted over. And there's Summon Monster 3, and that's one or more summon creatures. Two of which can be apart. Spell functions like Summon Monster 1, except that you can summon one creature from the 3rd level list, or D3 creatures from the same kind or from 2nd level, or D4+1 creatures of the same kind from the 1st level list. 286. And I am wrong on the rocks type thing in that sense. And there's Summon Nature Ally on right there on page 288, which goes back to the Druid in that type of sense. Which says 1 on the table, but I don't think it says 1 in the text. So in that type of sense, that is also sick again. So that's the first one on the table type thing. And then bonus spells. There's the Druid Companion, Trackless Step, Wild Shape. Wild Shape, 5th level Druid, gains the ability to turn herself into any small or medium animal. And that is Wild Empathy. Wild Empathy, a Druid can use her body language, vocalization, or demeanor to improve the attitude of an animal. Those are the same thing. Now, we need spells. You need spells. Now, prepare to cast a spell, and then like other spellcasters, Druid can cast only a certain number of spells per day. For base data allotments given on table 3.8, the Druid, in addition, she receives bonus spells per day as if she had a high wisdom score. See table 1.1, ability modifiers, and bonus spells, page 8. And that's on page 34 underneath the Druid. And that is wrong in that type of sense. So now you've got 1 on page 35, but you didn't check page 8 to see if you had a high wisdom. So that would give you more spells in that type of sense. Now, let's see if I had a 20 wisdom, then there would be 2 first level spells. Not sure if you can see that. And but now it's just 1. And once it gets up to 5th, around 5th level spells, you pick up that 2, which I've never noticed before. Now, there is one more block in that thing. There's Generalist Wizard type thing. Once again, a block in that type of sense. And then, once you get past the block, it says, this substitution feature replaces the standard wizard's ability to specialize in a school of magic. And then natural link, there's natural link in that sense. And then, this substitution feature replaces the standard wizard's familiar's ability to deliver touch spells, and normally granted by the familiar of a 3rd level, and the familiar's ability to speak with animals of its kind, normally gained by the familiar of a 7th level wizard. And this substitution replaces the wizard's bonus feat gained at 5th level. And this one was in precise shot or point blank shot without it being a meta magic feat. So, much like in everything else in that type of sense, then from Republicans type say, you always do things in a straightforward manner. So now, in that type of thing, you have a straightforward manner in that type of thing, and you have a straightforward manner, and if FAFSA type thing is a government program type thing to take care of education, and Republicans do believe in education, but they did business first type thing as their gold standard, and from business gets your paycheck in that type of sense, and your paycheck gets your ability to pay your own programs without government. So in that type of sense, FAFSA is a government shared program like for the people or of the people type thing in a democratic way. And I'm not flipping the bill for other people's education. So you have to pay out of pocket type thing for that type of thing, out of pocket, and big business gave you enough money, big business gave you enough money to pay out of pocket. And that's Republican in that type of sense. Now from that type of thing, there is no FAFSA, and there probably won't be any Republicans backing the vote on FAFSA in that type of sense or education loans. They already paid you money. They don't need to pay you again. That's their belief, and not their synergy belief in that type of sense too. So, use cover the veil. Education usually is one of the keys to higher a gross domestic product type thing in that sense too, because of a more educated workforce. But that's still not important enough to vote on student loans. Now, let's go ahead and get some victory music online and that type of sense. That's my July type thing, and that's generally what I see there. And then we're going to go in there, and then we're going to go in there, and that's my screen there. And that's with Brandon Jacobs, and that's Brian Jennings, and that's Alex Smith. Pound back type thing, that's not part of the other system. I need to put that up online type thing. There's Web Serif in that sense, and there's Jennifer Goodwin, and that's the hat type thing, and things of that nature. And then that's 68 friends there. And there's photos 7, it's more of them actually. 74 maps and 261 likes. Now on the photos type thing, I've got, that's right, your album 78, videos 267. Now, let us go here, and we can hear people are strange type thing in that type of sense. And then I can also get, some more conversation with the Mad Hatter.
I don't know what you think you're doing, but you hurt me for me. Swear on me, you're right.
Hurt her? I'm saving her life.
You see, that's my TV.
Don't play stupid.
That's my printer. That's my light. That's my kitchen type thing. Which is better. And you're probably seeing that type of thing over there.
All except you.
And now that's the one took up my wildfire there. And that was my WWE thing there. Get my pressure point pin there.
Because for the last 28 years, I've been stuck in this house, day after day, always the same. Until one night, you and your little yellow bug roll into town, and the clock ticks, and things start to change.
You can go to a Google store like this and look at baseball. Alright.